in the UK, if you imagine going to your local supermarket and picking up 7 bags of sugar, and carrying those around with you all day and all night, 7 bags of sugar, that's what you've lost.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it has made a difference in many, many ways.
Yeah.
It's not just the weight, it's how I feel generally about things as well.
Yeah.
Has improved a lot. I know I'm doing or capable of doing, you know the history of my knee, but let's go into too much detail on that for this thing in case it appears in your video. But I know I can now do more things than I could do before. And I'm sure, maybe some of the exercises, some of them to do with it, but I'm also convinced that having lost a lot of the weight is a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
So, quite a happy bunny, really.
And for those of us watching at home, this is Phil being happy.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
And Ian, you lost 5 and a bit kilos.
But you had less to lose.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been obviously laid low with long COVID. I've not been as physically active either, but I'm still losing weight.
Yeah.
With that, so that's that's again really positive.
Absolutely, and it's not a competition.
No, it's not. It's not, and I think this is the thing I'm feeling quite optimistic about with this. I can live like this. I'm enjoying my food like this, and the weight's just eking off. And I know that over time it'll continue to happen.
Yeah.
So another 3 months, another 5 kilos.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's because it's a little tiny bit of weight for a consistent period. It is something you feel that you could keep doing it for as long as you need to, and there's no reason, because you're not really missing out on anything.
No, absolutely not. I mean, those days when I really need chocolate, well, I can have chocolate.
Well, clearly, yes.
Maybe I'd have done another 5 kilos if I'd been really good. But you got to enjoy life, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
But you've also been doing your encouragement to do a bit of exercise.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying just the little exercises and doing those, just wherever I am. To be honest with you, just kind of stopping and doing 2 minutes of squats or bends or push-ups or whatever.
Yeah, integrating it into your daily routine is what gym bunnies do, but they do it to an extreme. Whereas if we can integrate it just a little bit, it does regenerate your muscles. It does help your body to absorb the right nutrients in a better way and sort of soak up some of the excess carbohydrate. So that's the way to do it. You do a little bit every single day. It doesn't have to be a lot. Maybe some days you'll do a lot more. Maybe other days you literally just do 3 squats. It's fine, because it's about the mentality of knowing that this is just good for me. I'll just do a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah.
And your encouragement, Paul, Ian should go down to the gym just to do 5 minutes. I think
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Like yesterday, we went down to the pool, and I wasn't feeling great, but I went in the small pool. I just did some kind of stretches and things in the small pool. Enjoyed the small pool and felt good about it.
Yeah. Because a lot of people have this fear of going to the gym because they're going to be judged.
Yeah.
And it should actually be a place where you go to feel good. It doesn't mean that you have to come out all sweaty and exhausted. You just go there and you feel good about whatever you're doing, whatever that is. It really doesn't matter, because like you said, it's an expensive gym. It's probably quite nice, so you may as well go there and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
It is quite nice. Yeah.
And that's what people pay their money for, is to go to that nice gym and enjoy themselves. So it's good that you're able to do that, and if you get a bit of exercise in, then it's the double win.
Yeah.
So if you cast your minds back to before we were working together, where would you say you were? What was your position?
slouched on a sofa with very, very large stomachs, and we have the photographs of that.
Yeah, sorry
still
about
in
that.
our fridge.
Right.
Oh, really? Do you?
Yeah, it's on the
Yes.
fridge to remind us.
We took a still of it, and yeah, it's on the fridge saying we can do this, and yeah, in many respects we have.
Yeah. What do you mean? Be more specific for me.
So I mean, you'd already started doing the mindful chef, so obviously you wanted to try something new, and obviously you sort of bumped into me, came across my page or group or whatever, and so what was going through your minds? What were you talking to each other about when you thought, actually, maybe we could get some help here?
I think it was about recognizing, obviously, we needed to do something now about our health, about our weight, and make that change, and actually do something concrete and serious about that. Obviously, with my own health conditions, I wanted to be putting the best into my body to get the best out of this, just giving myself every fighting chance to overcome this virus. So it was those two things, really. It was a combination of my desire to kick long COVID into touch as quickly as I can, and a long kind of thing of, look, we've done diets, we've done this, we kind of bouncing up and down, we need to do something, something concrete, something definite, something that actually makes us focus on this properly and makes it as a life change rather than a fad diet.
Yeah.
And it's not just physical health, it's mental health as well.
Mental health as well.
Which
Absolutely.
as important.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it totally is. I mean, you can't just change what you eat and just expect it to just magically work and that you stick to it for the rest of your life. It has to be what you think about food, how you feel about food, what your relationship with food is, and how it makes you feel when you do have something good or something not so good for you, because you start to learn actually how that does make you feel the day after.
Yeah.
And it's not just physically, but it is mentally as well, because the gut bacteria produces 90% of the serotonin in your body. So if you feed that right, it releases more of the happy hormone and you feel better.
Yeah.
And so, Phil, for you, would I be right in saying that you were slightly more resistant to the idea of working with me?
No, not so.
That's underplaying it, Paul. Quite significantly.
Significantly is probably a fairer assessment.
What were your concerns? What were you worried about?
Being judged all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not good at that at the best of times in any respect. So yes, being under that level of scrutiny worried me, and yeah, and you're dealing with somebody you've never met before, you've never met in real life. You were a stranger.
Yeah,
I don't think you're a stranger anymore.
Just strange.
Do you know, I wouldn't even go that far.
Oh, okay, damn it.
And I've had experiences with people who've been, bastards in these sort of situations, and no, I didn't want that. Whereas you've been encouraging rather than dictatorial. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that a good way of putting it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we haven't been shouted at on the occasional weeks where we've put the odd 100 grams on here and there. You've been amazingly encouraging.
Thank you. I'm glad because it is, to me, it is really, really important that this is a positive experience, because I want you to feel like you enjoy it and you got something to look forward to, not just with working with me, but afterwards as well. When you sort of go off and do it on your own, you have a positive feedback loop with eating a little bit better. Some of the phrases I use deliberately to make it a little bit more silly, a little bit more fun, a little bit more like, it doesn't matter too much, but as long as I try and make it a little bit better, it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
And you know, there were times when you felt like you couldn't tell me about the piece of toast you'd had.
Yeah.
And now when you look back at it, it is silly that you'd be worried about that. But it was a real concern that you had, that you felt like it was a bad thing and that you didn't want to tell me about it. And it's like, it's toast. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. If you think that, you know, you're going to get shouted at or whatever, it's like, oh, you know, I didn't want to be in boot camp.
No.
You know, not in my own home. That's not how life, or I think my life should be. Then it's how you think your life should be.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's, yeah, and it hasn't been like that.
Mm.
It's been collaboratory.
Yeah, collaborative.
And I think that's what's probably a lot of people are going to be quite interested in, is the fact that there's two of you in a partnership doing this at the same time together. What's worked well and what's been difficult about that?
It's been good to have someone to obviously just sort of like, sorry, the dogs just sat playing with the tweet.
Brilliant, thanks.
It's been good to have someone obviously be able to share the kind of process with. So it's kind of like to question things, you know, should we be having this? Is this too much? You know, and just encouragement to keep going, really.
Yeah.
Which, you know, sometimes you've dipped and I've been up, and sometimes I've dipped and you've been up, and we've kind of got each other kind of going through it.
Yeah.
So that's all been good. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with him.
So disrupting.
He's also lost 1.8 kilos.
Yeah. So
Is that a good thing?
It is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bet said she's fat, so
And Bet says she still needs to lose a bit more. So yeah,
she doesn't look it.
We'll be working on it together.
But no, but I mean, I think back to what we were talking about. I think being able to support each other in it has been good. And being able to keep each other on the straight and narrow has been good. Just ignore that phone. It's all happening. You ring out.
It is, isn't it?
The phone never rings. Never.
Yeah, we ignore that. Just having that, to be able to share that with someone and be encouraged and encourage.
Yeah,
being good.
Yeah.
I think on my own, I think I'd be much more liable to go off and have much more, you know, fall off the straight and narrow, as it were. But I think also we've been encouraging each other to try different foods and things, haven't we? We've been much more experimental than maybe we would have done. I certainly I would have done on my own. So that's been good. I need to go a call.
All right. So, whilst he's away,
Yeah. Whilst he's away, you've actually disappeared completely off the screen because him taking that call, it came through on the Mac as well.
oh, so you can you hear me still?
I can hear you, but I have no idea where you are.
Oh, don't worry. I won't leave you alone.
Because I don't run this thing, he does.
So there should be an icon on the bottom, but don't worry about it. He can fix it when he comes back.
You know, icon on the bottom.
It should be a little blue square with a white camera on it.
Yeah, I've got that, but it's
You just click on it, it should pop up.
no, it didn't. Anyway,
Don't worry, I'm still here. It's okay. So, from your point of view, what do you feel that has been the biggest change?
Physically, I have lost, you know, a lot of weight. Lots of my clothes fit me a lot better.
Yeah.
I feel better about myself, which is a significant plus.
Yeah.
Because probably I wasn't feeling that great about myself when we started at all.
Right.
So yeah, that has really helped. Your encouragement to do more exercise has certainly helped.
Yeah.
you know, I was convinced I couldn't do sit-ups at all.
Okay.
I was absolutely convinced I couldn't do it, but I can.
Yeah.
You know, there's no doubt I can do it. Paul's disappeared, and I don't know
He
how to
has.
get him
Hang
back.
on. It's there.
There we go.
I don't know how he did that. Anyway,
It's just magic. Computer magic.
voodoo.
No, it's really good because there's so much more to eating better than just eating better. You know, it is, you will lose a little bit of weight. Your clothes will feel a little bit better. You do feel a little bit more confident. You do feel a little bit more like, I can do this. This is actually not difficult. There are ways of making this easy and something I can integrate into my life and make it enjoyable, make it fun. I mean, there are going to be foods that for some reason you might not like. Should we just skip over kippers for now and talk about
Forever.
And tofu and tempeh. Yeah. No,
Those things are bad.
they're never going to happen again.
But it was an interesting experience.
Yeah.
But the important thing is you tried it. You gave it a go.
Oh, yeah.
Not liking it, not a problem. You're not vegetarian, so it's not something that you have to do.
No. But we now eat far more vegetarian food than we ever did. You know, I think we would never have really considered a meal without meat before. Full stop.
And now most weeks we have one, if not two or three sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, at least. So, and you know, we are planning meals without meat, and that's, you know, I think that's good for the environment as much as anything else as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The other change in terms of what we're eating, because, you know, for the bad reasons I end up being the principal cook, is to make it look nice.
Yeah.
And okay, there are pictures in the Mindful Chef books of what things should look like, but also the thought, I'm gonna have to send a photograph of this to Paul. And making it look nice, yeah, it does really help make you feel better about what you're eating.
Yeah.
And yeah, I serve up 2 plates and I judge which one I think looks better, and you only get 1 photograph.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I mean, it is funny because some of the pictures that you've taken of your food and then you've like shown me the picture of the recipe, they look exactly the same. You've actually managed to make it look exactly like the picture. And I was like looking at it thinking, has he just sent me the picture of the recipe and not actually sent me his own food? So
you could tell because you knew what plates we had.
I do now, yeah. But that was the other really interesting thing is seeing the quantity of food that you have on your plates, because your plates have this blue rim and this blue inner sort of circle. You could see how your portion control was getting better and better and better and better. And you weren't like having tiny bits of food, but pretty much every time it was within that inner circle, that inner blue ring, and it looked good. You know, it looked like you had taken time and effort to make it look good. And I do think there is a degree of obviously eating with your eyes, and if it looks good, it's going to taste better and you're going to enjoy it more.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. And, you know, okay, so part of that is the ingredients that we had, you know, to cook and create with. And there's been, you know, many ingredients that I had never used before. So yeah, all good stuff. And it has looked good.
It has.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that now you're sort of experimenting with those recipes and trying to recreate them with your own ingredients, and obviously realizing that it's not as easy because they give you the specific ingredients that you need at the right quantities, and it's much more difficult. So it's been interesting to see you be a bit more creative with what you've got and throwing a few things together. And
yeah, and you know, I know there are bits of the Mindful Chef recipes that we really liked that I have been just doing on their own, to go with other things. That's been good.
Yeah.
And I think also it's been really interesting from my point of view working with somebody that is following something like Mindful Chef, which Mindful Chef would like you to think that is what you need to help you on your journey, where it's actually been nice to actually work in combination with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And seeing how you can enhance it even more and take it to the next level, because quite often we were, especially sort of towards the end, we were starting to notice that actually some of the Mindful Chef stuff, there's quite a lot of carbohydrate in it. And that was throwing you a bit of a curveball, and meaning that it was slowing down some of your weight loss, or you weren't losing any at all. So noticing that and being aware of it has been really interesting.
What's happened with that is, because I tend to do Mindful Chef ordering, is when I'm on their website now and I'm looking through what they've got on offer, I really am aware and keeping an eye on the carb levels in the menus, and if they're too high, I'm just discounting them. So that's definitely been again it's just a mental shift, really. Yeah, that's why I've been looking at it and thinking, nope, that's too many carb. And also,
and it's not that you're on a low carb diet, you know, you're not doing keto or anything, you're getting carbs in your diet, but some of those meals were really, really high in carbohydrate. There's no way around it. They just were
lots of rice and things going on the plate. Yeah.
And so, Ian, from your point of view, what have you found most interesting about the whole process of working together?
I think, as I said before, it felt like I was worried it would feel like a diet, and I think, as Philip said, this sense of being judged, and actually it's just become a way of life. It's become something I've enjoyed doing, and I've noticed as well that my own kind of tastes have changed through this. So before I worked with you, got a plate of chips or whatever, I'm there, chocolate, I'm there. I'm finding these days I don't really want the chips anymore. And I had some chips recently and I didn't really enjoy them.
And you left most.
And I left most of them.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that's been interesting. I've heard, anecdotally people say, oh, you do these kind of things, your taste bugs kind of wake up and you'll stop. It's true. It's happening. It's happened. And I'm enjoying the flavors in food much, much more. As I say, those things which I would have gone to as my, treats, I don't really want them. Whenever I'm getting them, they're disappointing me.
Yeah. I've broken you.
You have.
I'm not sure I want the old Ian back. I think I'm quite happy.
This was bad. So that's been great. And I think it just hasn't felt like an effort. The weight's come off, my clothes fit better.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I've been starving myself or struggling to achieve that. It's and I know going forward, carrying on doing what we're doing, but it'll keep eating away, and come Christmas there'll be another 10 kilos off, perhaps, because it's 6 months to go. We'll see where it goes. Optimistic.
Phil's looking terrified. 10 more kilos? What?
I've done 5 in 3 months, so that's
true.
Just keeping it going.
Yeah.
Even if it's between 5 and 8, that's still
I think it is a fluid target.
Yeah.
There is no set number. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. And if you get to a point where you think, actually, this is fine, it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Matter.
I think the other thing that's been interesting is acknowledging my age with this. I think I've certainly, and part of this is to do with someone I was in a relationship with for a long time who's obsessed with weight and obsessed with being thin. And it gets into your psyche, doesn't it? I should be at this weight, I should weigh this much. And recognise, actually, no, at certain ages, and I'm now in my 50s, just turned into my 50s last year, actually, as much as I weighed when I was 30, might not look as healthy as I did.
What's she eating?
Probably a stone.
Sorry, the dog has brought something in that she shouldn't.
Leave it.
You can edit this, can't you?
Yes, I can, yeah. But I won't, because I think it's fun. I think it makes it more real.
It is. It's all happening this afternoon.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So it's kind of recognising actually what's a healthy weight and body shape for me now.
Yeah.
As opposed to me when I was 25 that I seem to want to eternally be, which is never going to happen.
No. I mean, I used to have a 28-inch waist when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I would look sick if I had a 28-inch waist.
That's right. I mean, absolutely. I was similar. I was stick thin. I was like 24. And I would look like I should be in hospital. So that's kind of.
There's nothing wrong with being a bit cuddly.
No.
No. So, if someone came to you and said, "I'm thinking about working with a bloke called Paul, but I don't know what to do."
No, I think we'd actually say, not. I'm thinking, someone's coming to us saying, "Okay, I've got a problem. Who would you suggest?" We'd say Paul.
Yeah.
So it would be. You can say, but yes, if you want people to speak to us, I'd say yes, go for it. It's been really helpful.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any final thoughts?
No. Or are we supposed to say something?
No, it's not at all.
What's the soundbite you want? Paul will do it. I mean,
If in the chat box you put the fee, we're fine. He says anything for money.
It's just been a very positive experience. I mean, it's been a journey, and it's been a good journey, and the journey continues. But we're kind of pointed in the right direction, doing the right things, and hopefully next time we chat to you, whenever that may be, we can tell you how the journey's going, and we've made even more progress with it, and that'll be clear. But no, we're both very happy with what's happened and what we've done and what we've achieved through working with you, and we're fairly determined that carries on.
Well, you know where I am.
I'm not sure we do know where you physically are, but we know how to.
Top secret.
Yeah. It's like Thunderbird's Tracy Island, isn't it?
Basically, yes.
Best kept that way.
Cool.